Perspicacity, written wholly by Brian Fredward McGregor. Episode Tied Up in Knots. Well, this happened a long time ago when I was young, or at least much younger. I had quite a difficult childhood, to say the least, and I mean difficult. I had a difficult family life, so to speak, and I had anger problems. And these were pretty serious anger problems as a youngster. It was the case I moved, or rather was placed in care for most of my youth due to my parents, or rather their lack of ability to look after myself. In any case, every Thursday I would go to the community centre week in and week out. It was great to say the least, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Although each week I would wander in, then aged 8 years old, and I would be angry, as in angry. I would smash this up and smash that up, and just generally cause mayhem. Now I did say I was angry, yeah? Well, anyway, every week from the first day I attended, there was an older gentleman, and he would sit in the corner of the room and tie knots, wearing a dark blue suit with white pinstripes. He was a fisherman by trade, it has been said, and also a very wise man. Now, each week from my 8th birthday, he would sit there and tie knots. He would try and show the other kids there, but nobody was interested except me, myself. I watched this geezer, as I called him, then aged 8, week in and week out, and I thought to myself, I could do that any blooming day. I was a cheeky monkey as a child, and if I wasn't fighting with the other kids there, then I was shouting at him, Albert. Yes, Albert. Albert was a kind fellow. He wouldn't hurt anyone, and nobody hurt him, although I wound him up something chronic. I would badmouth him every week just for a laugh. It cheered me up, strangely enough. He would just smile and laugh, and that was that. Anyway, one week after watching him for so long, I approached him, finally, without being too cheeky. He was tying knots as usual, with a great crowd of kids. Well, okay, nobody at all, as per usual. So he would be there in the corner of this community centre tying knots every week in the kids' class, and nobody bothered one bit, except me, and that was for comedy value only. Okay, so, as I said, I approached him and said, "What you doing, mister?" Even though I knew. Albert looked up slowly, then replied, "I'm tying knots. I like tying them. It's a skill, you know." So I introduced myself in my own special way. Well, okay, I swore at him. I told him what he was doing was flaming useless amongst other things, and the other things I won't say again, or at least, well, I hope not. And so he was there tying knots. So I sat down in front of him and watched him every week, week in and week out. Now, Albert, well, he was a kind guy, as noted, and he eventually showed me a simple knot and how to tie it. I thought to myself, F this is a load of, well, you know. At any rate, I tied that knot and was pretty good at it after a few minutes on the floor in front of him, and then I tied another and another. Each week Albert showed me another knot and another knot, and I calmly sat in front of him tying those darn knots. Now I think back, well, Albert was quite a guy indeed. He did, over a period of a year, teach me every knot under the sun and some more he made up himself, just to show off, or I will say that, though quite possibly not. He just wanted to help me, and he did. He even showed me how to untie knots too. Quite a guy, he really was. The funny thing is, every week I got quieter and quieter, and I became much calmer until the point I was as cool as ice, you know? I stopped shouting at the other kids too, and the workers also. I stopped fighting with everyone pretty much, progressively over that year he was roughly there, and I even protected him from everyone else, somewhat. Sadly though, Albert passed away soon after my 9th birthday, but he saved me. He really, really did. He saved me. The knots, as I thought, were useless, but they taught me things such as patience and being calm. As such, they solved my problems, you know, and now the only knot I can't untie is within my stomach. And as you've probably guessed, it's for Albert, as he saved me. Well, I work at that same community centre now. I attended Welsh Young, and as you have guessed, I tie knots for the kids, although my audience is much bigger than Albert's, and better behaved. Incidentally, I kept the stool Albert used all those years ago, about 32 or thereabouts. Ah well. There's now a picture of a man aged 40 or thereabouts, with children running around him whilst playing in a community centre hall. This man now turns slowly, then smiles rather sadly at the camera before walking off out of screenshot into a blur. The end. A Brian Fred Worm McGregor production.